The Southwest United States has long been a destination for hikers, authors, and painters. I myself visited the Southwest the first time about 15 years ago and literally fell in love with it. Recently, my favorite hiking partner and wife told me that she had to attend a meeting in Phoenix and wanted to know if I wanted to go along. Did I? I casually suggested that we spend a little extra time sightseeing in the area and maybe even doing some hiking in the Grand Canyon. And she said, hey, that sounds like fun. So that began my 3-month planning ritual, which also included a physical fitness training program for the rigors of the canyon. So, I guess we're about ready, but I better check this gear one more time. Again? I'm John Bryant, and we are Adventure Bound.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to Phoenix.
We arrive in Phoenix and check into our hotel. Miriam attends her meetings, and I see what I could do to keep myself occupied. I didn't have any trouble. By the way, I should take this time to introduce you to my travel buddy, Miriam. Our plan today is a simple one. Get off the interstate as soon as possible, head up to Morrison, Wickenburg, through the town of Congress, Kirkland Junction, make a left turn, Skull Valley, Arizona, Iron Springs, Prescott, then to the back roads through Cottonwood and on to Sedona. With Miriam's work complete, we're up before daylight heading north out of Phoenix. Wow, look at that hot air balloon on the horizon. As soon as possible, we turn off onto the back roads. We drive through several small towns. This one is Wickenburg, Arizona. We make a wrong turn along the way and end up in Skull Valley. We take a small break at the general store before pressing on to Jerome. Our next stop, Jerome, Arizona, population 345. Jerome is situated literally on the side of Mingus Mountain at 1 mile above sea level. In 1883, this mining camp was named Jerome after Eugene Murray Jerome, a New York investor who owned the mineral rights and financed the mining here. Eugene Jerome never visited his namesake town. Much of the original town burned in 3 different fires in the late 1890s, and one underground fire in a mine burned for more than 20 years. Jerome became such a hotbed of prostitution, gambling, and vice, causing the New York Sun to proclaim that Jerome was the wickedest town in the West. However, the mining continued, and in 1930, one mine blast caused the city jail to slide downhill 1 block completely intact. Jerome produced over $1 billion in copper, gold, and silver over the next 70 years. In 1932, the copper prices bottomed out and Jerome almost became a ghost town. But recently, tourism has given Jerome a new life. We arrive in the Red Rock city of Sedona. We do some shopping, taste some wine, have a very fine meal before relaxing in the jacuzzi. Then we drink some more wine and drift off to a restful slumber. The next day we're up early and headed for Cathedral Rock Trail. Cathedral Rock is more of a climb than a hike. The trail guide reports it's just 7/10 of a mile to the saddle, which is a large opening between the spires. But what is not reported is that a good portion of this hike is a climb. Our trekking poles will not be with us on this trip. Here I'm trying to provide a lovely description of the area, only to realize later that much of the audio for this trip did not work. The trail can be seen winding its way around below. Then straight up as you climb through this large crack to get to our current positions. By the way, the bushes down below are not bushes, they are trees. Man, I hope we don't fall. By the way, the temperature out here today is probably right at 70, which is good because we're building up a pretty good sweat and pumping the old heart, pumping pretty hard, getting up these rocks. So it hit ahead, and that's where the trail's at. We're going up there. No. Yes, I am grunting. It's I'm talking to the camera. Yeah. That's the incline, about what we're working on right now to get there. After about 2 hours, we finally make it to the saddle. We snack on cheese and crackers, snap some photos before we try to figure out how to get off of this rock. After that, we only have a few hours of driving before we reach our next destination, the Grand Canyon. Leaving Sedona, we drive through Flagstaff and pick up US 180 over to Arizona Route 64, then up to the canyon. Sunrise at the Grand Canyon. The canyon is over a mile deep, 18 miles across, and over 270 miles long. The temperature at the bottom of the canyon can be 20 degrees warmer than the rim, and the weather can change rapidly. Here on the south rim, we are 6,800 feet above sea level, making hiking even more strenuous. There are no easy trails into the canyon. They're all rugged and unforgiving with little shade and scarce water supply. The park website recommends 1 quart of water per hour, in addition to the recommended minimum equipment list. The park rangers perform several hundred search and rescues per year in the canyon for lost, injured, and unprepared hikers. The main trail from this part of the canyon is the Bright Angel Trail. It starts just yards beyond the Bright Angel Lodge, tempting unprepared hikers. After breakfast, we stop at the ranger station to get an update on trail conditions and weather. The weather forecast is clear with mild temperatures, with a chance of afternoon thunderstorms. As we head for the door, ready to get started, the rangers' final words: "It's going to be a great day. Have a nice hike." As we strap on our packs, laden with extra clothing, food, and water, we see many young hikers wearing just shorts and t-shirt, carrying a camera and a single bottle of water, passing us heading down the trail. We pass tunnel number 1. This tunnel will give us some needed shelter later in the day. Several hours into the hike, we come upon the first rest house. About 30 hikers are sitting along the trail, taking a break, adjusting packs. The mood is enthusiastic and upbeat. This facility provides a small shelter for shade, toilet facilities, and emergency telephone. We have a snack and press on. The number of hikers in the trail is getting fewer and fewer. Most have turned back, but many, still clad in just shorts and t-shirt, are still going ahead of us. Trying to videotape and walk on the Bright Angel Trail can be tricky, as seen in the shakiness of this segment. And the trail is rather unforgiving if I were to step off the side, but the view is spectacular. We stop and add an extra layer of sunscreen as the warm sun begins to heat up the canyon. After several more hours, we reach the second rest house. The number of hikers here are fewer, and the mood is quite somber, which is easy to understand when you see how much up is required for the return hike. It can be a little intimidating. We find a rare, shady spot, drop our packs, and have a nice lunch and a rest. I reach into my pack and pull out my personal reward, a Diet Pepsi, which is still chilled as I had it buried in the bottom of my backpack. We add more sunscreen to our sunburned arms and necks, take some more photos, and begin heading back up the trail. About midway between the first and the second rest house, the clouds roll in, the temperature drops, and the wind picks up. The wind is blowing the dust so hard it looks as if the canyon is on fire. Soon the rain starts, followed by sleet and then snow. The visibility at times has dropped to just 100 yards. At times, I find myself having to yell for Miriam just to hear me just a few feet away. We managed to make it to the first tunnel, where we're able to take shelter for a brief rest and shoot this video segment. This was a far cry from the forecast the rangers had given us this morning. The Bright Angel Trail is a wide trail, about 6 to 8 feet, but the drop-offs are very unforgiving. And now the steep and rocky trail was beginning to be covered with snow and ice. This, in combination with our exhausted and aching legs, is a recipe for a twisted ankle or worse. Our trekking poles put the odds in our favor. Just before sunset, we reach the top. As we step off the trail and onto the concrete sidewalks through the visitors area, Miriam and I embrace in celebration of our achievement. Cold, wet, exhausted, we walk right over to the Bright Angel Lodge, which is just a few feet away. Without slowing down, we walk right into the lodge, up to the hostess station at the restaurant. With trekking poles in our gloved hands and snow still covering our backpacks, we ask to be seated. A few moments later, we are enjoying the best burgers of our lives. During that moment, I can't help but reflect on what we had just accomplished. Just a few yards away and a few moments ago, we completed a trek that most would never attempt, let alone in the weather we just experienced. It was the most challenging and exhausting hike I've ever experienced. Our legs will be sore for days, but the memories and the bragging rights will last us a lifetime. And yes, I would do it again. What of the people who are still in the canyon wearing shorts and t-shirts? Well, nighttime will soon be upon them, along with sub-freezing temperatures, snow, and high winds. Perhaps they will make up some of the few hundred people the Rangers will have to rescue this year.